Happy Wednesday.
Yes, happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. And it's happy Real Housewives of New Jersey day.
Ooh, things are heating up in the Jersey.
But you know what? We have Kate Chastain on today.
We do. And she was on Below Deck for 6 years.
Yes.
She came on in the second season and she really had an incredible run. She's a sexy little yachty, but her time for wearing a skort is up. She has hung up that skort and she's moving on to better things.
She is. She was on Chat Room. She actually created Chat Room and she's moved on from that. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of her doing other things. She's very creative. She's smart. She's chased her dreams.
Now, Tony, before we talk to Kate, I just want to get a little tea from you also. We're 5 episodes into your season. It's really interesting to be in such a diverse group of friends. You know, if there was only one girl on your show that you could trust, like you can only trust one girl, like who's your most trusted friend on the show?
Dolores.
Now that's probably surprising to some viewers how close.
Well, because I just feel like we're so close and we had a lot of similar situations. We think the same way. Listen, obviously I trust Melissa and Jackie implicitly, but Dolores and I are similar in age. So I think we have a lot of similarities. When it comes to kindred spirits, we are.
You have a lot to bond over.
Mm-hmm.
Are you enjoying watching your season back?
I'm enjoying watching my season. I think I'm very upset. It was upsetting with the Jackie and Teresa, but I'm upset for my own reasons. And I shared a very emotional story, and maybe I didn't share it emotionally enough. You know, I don't think I should have to. Just talking about a time and place when women could not speak up, felt shame, felt embarrassment, felt no one would, you know, believe them. And that's the way I felt. And I felt, was I somehow responsible? Did I give a signal? Because that's the way your victims are meant to feel. Like, this is something they did.
You brought it on yourself.
You brought it on yourself. And someone who would perpetuate that narrative in this day and age, who would victim shame, is very upsetting and
especially
hurtful.
Someone with daughters.
Yeah, someone with
daughters. That
always
surprises me when someone.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't see the episode till right when you guys see it. So to see what she's saying behind the scenes is even more distasteful and hurtful, and shame on her.
Yeah, that's true. And victim shaming doesn't reflect badly on any victim. It reflects badly on the person doing the shaming.
Yes.
It really does. And we should be there to support and empower all women, hear their stories, hear their truth. And truthfully, I will say living with guilt and shame is one of the hardest things. If you are living with guilt and shame, you really need to get in therapy because it's probably not your fault.
It's not your fault. And you can, and so many women have so many stories to share. And if it happened to you, believe me, it happened to many other women. And that's why it's so important for us to share our stories and be bonded together and not have any guilt or shame.
I think it's the most dangerous emotion that will hold you back more in your life than any other emotion. So reach out.
Yes.
We're here.
Reach out. We're here.
To us if you need us.
Exactly. So now let's get to Kate.
Yeah, let's get to Kate.
Let's get to fun Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Okay, Caviar Dreamers. We're so excited. We're here with Kate Chastain.
Yes, we are very lucky to have Kate on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Powerful woman, hysterical woman, chief stew, creative, does everything, creator of the Chat Room.
Yeah, very, very popular.
Very popular. Now she's packed her bags back in Florida.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you, you're still young, fabulous. I mean, growing up, were you like, I want to work on a boat. I want to, be chief stew. What did you grow up wanting to be?
I wasn't really sure. I knew I wanted some kind of job that would have some element of fun in it. When I was in college, I had like a Honda Civic and it was not in great shape. And my dad told me, if you go to nursing school, I will buy you a brand new car. And I really needed a brand new car. But I just can't even watch Grey's Anatomy without getting squeamish. So I, as much as I want that new car, I can't become a nurse. I wish I could. So I knew I wanted something not nursing. And my cousin had done yachting for a long time. And so after college, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I thought jumping on a boat for 1 year would be like, buy me some time to figure it out, travel, save up, make some good money. And then I just ended up loving it.
Oh my God. So how far into your career did Below Deck? Tell me about that.
I had been working on yachts for about 6 years at that point, and I pretty much had become as high ranking as I possibly could. I was a chief stew, and whenever you're doing anything, you want to keep challenging yourself or you just get bored. It doesn't matter what profession it is, I think. So I was kind of like, I wish there was a way to make this challenging or fun or different. And then Below Deck fell in my lap. And at the time, it was still such a new show. And people were like, in the industry, said, if you do that yachting reality show, your yachting career is over. And I said, can I get that in writing?
Yes.
I have the most respect for you, like beyond it. To me, doing a reality show, which we know is hard enough anyway, but to have to service clients and actually be doing your real job for paying clients while dealing with production, I don't know how you did that.
Yes. What do you prioritize? That's what's rough. It's like you have your job and then like you're filming a show and you want to make a good show.
I actually think that's such an interesting point because I think it's actually easier because you are so focused on doing your actual job, the cameras kind of just disappear. And when I was working on Chat Room, I was with Portia and Giselle and Hannah, and I noticed such a difference that when those cameras start rolling, they really go into a mode like, okay, it's on camera work time. Where on Below Deck, we don't think of it that way because they're always following us 24/7. And I think that's actually easier for the people on Below Deck because you don't overthink the camera part of it because you're just doing the boat job.
Yeah, I think it's your real life. And that's really what a reality series is. It's following your real life.
Yeah, although I really think I should have caught on a bit sooner. So our producers at the beginning of the season explained to the new cast and everyone, like, you have two jobs, actually, the boat job, and there's also this TV show we're making. And my first season, some of my cast members would be having emotional conversations in the cabins and crying about their feelings. And I just was like, what the hell are you doing? We got work to do.
Yes.
And I didn't get it. That's also necessary for job number 2.
But that was what made it so good to watch also, was like, people were like, I feel like the viewers could almost tell that people were playing up to the cameras and that where they were there, and that you were just like, what the fuck? This is our job, people. We have guests. Let's go.
Listen, I have to admit, I would love to just do a show where I'm not actually also working. If they were like, so your call time's at 10:30, show up in a cute outfit, have some lunch, and talk some shit.
I know.
Why
did you move to New Jersey? We're looking for a new housewife.
Things could have been so different. Oh, I want to hear your opinion about the Teresa and Jackie situation. I might say something you don't agree with. I feel like Teresa's daughter is old enough now that I didn't mind Jackie's analogy that much.
No,
I don't mind the analogy.
Listen, I think you don't really talk about kids, but it was truly an analogy, and I didn't think it was the end of the world. I mean, I didn't think it was the best analogy knowing your audience, but do I think it was devastating? No.
I honestly would rather have rumors that in college I tried drugs than my husband was having an affair. I think the drugs is less bad. I mean, it's illegal, but it's less emotional.
I think, and then my husband last week, I don't know, Kate, if you watched last week, Joe, is drunk and he says, oh, he's heard it, in my house from 9 or 10 women. Well, I do have a staff of women. I mean, he exaggerated. We have like 5 women gossiping around the house, but that's only after I heard it from Teresa. So of course we were talking about it now nonstop. So, but everybody's like, Margaret heard it first. So I've been having a lot of headaches since this whole situation.
Drama.
Yeah.
What did y'all think about Meghan and Harry? I'm sure you guys have discussed it a million times.
Lexi's British. Lexi's British. So her accent's a little Jersey now, but she's from England.
Oh my God. I was on the group chat with my English and Irish friends. We're actually having dinner tonight to discuss. And holy shit, like that chain, I was forwarding everything to Dave Quinn. I was like screenshotting the chat. I was like, Dave, you're not going to believe what the girls just said. It's a little insane.
It's because Lexi's not happy the way Oprah interviewed.
I'm upset with Oprah.
Why? Would you think she should have gone harder?
Because it was very one-sided. It can't be called an interview, if you ask me. It should be called an expose. She sat down and she talked complete shit about the royal family. Now, I'm going to put this out there. Do I believe everything she said, every single word she said? 99% of it I do. The monarchy is definitely flawed, and they are definitely, I mean, one of my favorite things they've said since the interview was this is probably the biggest scandal to hit the royal family in 85 years. I was like, do we forget that Prince Andrew is a pedophile?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Well, that was
that's
by the
not
wayside.
classified
Yes.
as scandal. I'm sorry. So it's like the royal family are a bit mental, and I feel for Harry so much because of what he went through with his mother. But how did she not ask Meghan about her father, her brother, her half sister, all her crazy family members? How did she not say, how do you feel about your own family constantly selling stories to the media and giving interviews when you're trying to have a private life?
So you are Team Sussex.
No, I'm team nobody.
British friends. What's the other side of the pond saying?
A little bit of both. A little bit of like, you can't have it both ways. You can't sit down on TV and say you pretend like, you know, you.
What was that?
That was crazy.
That sounded like a bomb went off in my house.
Was falling down.
That just freaked me out. What was that?
Did Joe drop something?
I hope he didn't fall through the ceiling.
That would be not good.
That would be very bad. We have a whole from
remodeling?
Yeah, we've been remodeling, but our house will be, by the time we finish it, we'll need another remodel.
Yeah.
I'm loving your remodel, the Missoni upholstery. You're really going for it.
Well, you know what, that I had, but I have Missoni wallpaper, but my Missoni sofa, I have now redone with something else because I've had that Missoni sofa.
That's right. I saw that you reupholstered it, and I loved the new version as well. But you have the Missoni wallpaper. I just really love the boldness of your doing Missoni in your home because it's quite bold.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very bold, and I'm not like basic bitch or I just can't be gray and white. That's not my style. But tell us also. So after you decided to leave, I know you said after 38 you don't belong in a skort. So you felt like you outgrew that. Were you like, okay, I'm on to something else? Because I will say you are super creative. You're very smart. You came up with another idea, chat room. So you pitched that and that took off.
Right. So I have always been a huge fan of Bravo. I mean, I love the Rachel Zoe show. That's how far back my love.
Me too. Yes. Me too. When Brad and Rachel were together, I watched that.
Yes. And so when I heard that Bravo was making a reality show about yachting, if it had been any other network, I might have been less enthusiastic. But when I heard it was going to be on Bravo, I was like, the clouds parted, God spoke to me. It was like, you must be on this show. It's on Bravo. So was a Bravo fan before I was a yachty. And so my kind of dream show on Bravo was like Fashion Police, like Joan Rivers, like.
Yeah. You and I are so the same. Exactly.
I mean, she's such an icon, and I would have loved to have somebody talking about like the confessional looks, rating the confessional looks of the housewives, because I really think the fashion has become an extra cast member or such an over-the-top personality. Like, Margaret, how do you plan your confessional looks? I'm so curious.
Oh, see, that's the difference. I think other people I always plan my hairstyles because I like to wear a lot of different wigs and weaves and my makeup. Half the time I'm in my closet that morning saying, oh my God, I got to grab this. I don't plan it far out in advance.
I think we should also just say your closet is like nothing you've ever seen.
My closet is that,
and sequins, like a Vegas show.
Yeah, my closet is that of a drag queen. I have all the icing on the cake. I don't have a lot of cake. Does that make sense?
Yes, I love that. Feathers and rhinestones, but then when you just need to go to a casual run errand, you're like, I guess I can't wear the
I have to wear fur.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. I'm wearing something that's totally overdressed or inappropriate. So it's either some like workout leggings that I have in the house or it's over the top.
Yeah, there's not really any meat and potatoes. It's all like sauce.
Yeah, it's all sauce, icing on the cake. So I don't sit there and plan out my confessional look. I always have a look in mind.
Right.
Of the whole vibe that I want. But I'm always channeling a different era. That's my theory.
Okay. All right. And that's so similar. I understand what you're saying. Like when my first packed to go away for yachting, I mean, you're not supposed to take much, but I was like, I'm going to be, cavorting in some of the most exotic locations with the Richie Riches of the world. I got to look fabulous. It looked like Liberace.
Yes.
With Steven Tyler.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's such a good look. Steven Tyler and Liberace. That's my favorite. Rock and roll girlfriend with glam. I love the whole vibe. That's exactly the way I always feel.
Well, so after I left Below Deck and I was talking to Bravo about the chat room show, well, then of course the pandemic hit. So
Yes.
that really just changed everything. And year that followed, this last year, it was more reactive. So it was kind of like, okay, let's get this show. We're going to do it remote. And so, and I did, I think 40, maybe over 40 unique episodes of various shows in the last year, which is more than I ever did. So I worked a lot still.
Yeah, you've worked a lot.
Which I'm so thankful for. I mean, especially during this year when so many people couldn't work, I was so fortunate. But now I think I just want to, I'm buying a place in Florida, a condo. So I'm focusing on that. It's my first property I've ever purchased. It takes so much longer than I thought.
Yeah, nothing's quick. Nothing's quick.
Wow. And then I want to take my time to really find the next project that is perfect and not reactive to a pandemic. Like, okay, what can we shoot from our living rooms? You know, just some, there's not a huge sense of urgency, but I am excited.
I just want to know, how do you get your confidence? Because women, you know, you're very zero fucks given, which I love. I feel like I'm very much that way. You're younger than I am. But did you grow up with very strong parents? Were you always so independent?
You are so sweet to me. You know, I never noticed.
No, I'm serious because it's impressive.
Well, I'm going to give you a compliment right back. I was talking to our friend Dave, and I was like, oh, I just talked to Margaret. This was a couple weeks ago. I was like, I just love her so much. I mean, I would just basically do anything. If Margaret asked me anything, she's like, I know.
You are so sweet.
He's like, I'd probably kill someone if she asked me. I was like, me too.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Margaret called me up. Get in the car, Kate. Join us. I'm like, okay, where are we going? Somebody once told me like, oh yeah, because you're so fiercely independent. I was like, I am. I had no idea. I guess I think it comes out of fear, honestly. Like, I just don't want to ever be not happy in life. So that's like motivates me to go after things I want.
Do you ever feel, and I wrote this in my book, so I just want to ask you, I think a lot of women who are successful don't realize that they're so successful. It's imposter syndrome. Like, you feel like, oh, is this really me? Do I have this? Did I achieve this success? Is it happening? Do you ever have that?
Every day. It's almost like you feel like, when are they going to catch on to me? Like, how did I get so lucky? Something must, you know.
Yes.
I also, at the same time, know that I've worked very hard. So
yes.
I feel like life rewards people who work hard and are good people.
It's true. It's normally successful people who are driven feel that way, because insecurity stops you from achieving and imposter syndrome forces you to achieve, because you feel like it's never enough.
That's the fear. Exactly. So the same thing, like, why are you confident? Well, actually, ironically, it's that I'm not.
Yeah. Or it's you're confident, but it's like it forces you to achieve. You always feel like it's not enough goals, or like, did we achieve enough? It's a weird feeling, right? But this is all successful people, so I guess that's good. So we're successful.
That's a good group to be in.
You gotta find the happy balance, because let's say in one weekend you ran the marathon, the New York Marathon. You also got your dream crown molding. You also, got proposed to, and you got the big promotion at work. Let's say all that happened in one weekend.
Yes.
That'd be the best weekend of your life, right?
Yes.
But then that next weekend, it'd be kind of like, now what?
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to have it all kind of spaced out over time to keep you, like, the human race moving towards what's the next thing? It doesn't really matter what the next thing is, as long as you have a next thing you're getting excited about.
Yeah, I think no matter what age you are, you have to have goals. Mm-hmm. I don't understand people who don't have goals. Even my mother, she's like 73, 74, and she has goals.
Yeah.
She's
very driven.
She's very driven.
So what are y'all's goals next? What are you working on?
I mean, we have a mocktail soiree. Yeah. Because I don't drink. Because my mother was a lush growing up, and it made me very anxious. You'll read that in the book at the beginning.
I have that pre-ordered.
Thank you. Yeah, she'll blame it on the Nixon years.
Yes,
but that's what she'll say. But it was, listen, she's only 20 years older than me. It was a very crazy life. I didn't realize it until I went to therapy. But it stopped me from ever drinking. So, but I always say, I'm always drinking an iced tea or a cranberry juice and club soda or something like that. So we just trademarked a company called Soiree. Soiree all day, sip, soiree.
Soiree your way, because you can spike it too.
Yes, you can spike it. So, of course, it's good for you too. So you can spike it. It's good for Lexi because she drinks. She can spike it.
This is a genius idea. A huge market, because you can mix it it's a mixer or it's on its own.
A ready to drink.
Exactly.
And yes.
It's so funny. I think 2020 also lit a fire under all of our asses, where it was like, I'm going to fiercely go for the things that I want. I'm going to fiercely enjoy life, because when the shit hits the fan, you have to make every moment count.
It's true.
I love that name, Soiree. I love it so
Yeah,
much.
I think, it's a good name and I like it. We're very excited. It's like guns a-blazing now. Now I'm just like, boom, that's what I want to do and I'm doing it.
So how many years have you been doing New Jersey Housewives?
I'll be going into my
Season
fourth
on air,
season
so
on air, so I'll be
thank you.
going into my fifth year.
Jesus,
My
that
fifth
went
year
fast.
already. You did how many years? You did a lot of years.
6.
Yes.
That's a lot.
It's a
That's
lot.
a lot of years. It really is.
It
Now,
is.
did you find it hard to have like real life friendships and relationships at that time because you were traveling so much, you were filming, you were so busy?
Yes, a little bit. But the thing with Below Deck is, unlike a lot of the Housewives, every year was pretty much a completely new cast. And because you spend 6 weeks living and working, and you become friends with at least some of them. So I would make a lot of friends through the show, and they were also now work friends. And also, I'm from a very small town, the Vero Beach, Melbourne Beach area. It's very small. And so those friends, they're not really that impressed by the TV thing. And so they're very constant. But yeah, I think it actually made me meet more people like y'all.
Yes, which is nice. I know, which is so good. Like you get some good solid people out of it, which is great. And I like that aspect of it. I do feel like sometimes I miss out on good things, like your friends from Vero Beach or my friends from Tampa. I have the same friends that I've had forever since my son was little. And then I feel like because I am filming, you guys only film for 6 weeks?
Yes, but it's 24/7 while we're sleeping.
I know.
When you wake up, you're not allowed to talk to anyone until they mic you. Like you will get in trouble if you say something to a cast member and you haven't been mic'd. Like, so it's a lot of hours of footage. How long do you guys film for?
It's close to 16 weeks. Yeah, it's like they originally say 12 weeks, but then they extend it, so it's close to like 4 months.
5 days a week.
Between 3 to 4 months, 5 days a week.
4 months, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
That is incredible. And do you mind if I ask what time you usually start?
It depends. Like if it's on a trip, it's also like a 24-hour situation. So if we're traveling, it's a 24-hour situation. But if we don't, sometimes 8 in the morning, sometimes 1 in the afternoon, depending on what's going on.
Okay, right. Well, I think the reason they make it only 6 weeks and they really just knock it out.
24 hours.
Yachts are expensive. So, that's a big budget for a reality show to rent. They actually have to rent the yacht and another boat and it's an expensive show to make. So they really.
It is, but people, people just love it. But I mean, it's good. I'm sure you're still very close with Captain Lee.
Yes. He actually FaceTimes me even when he's traveling, which he is right now. Once a week, except I think it was yesterday. I had a missed FaceTime from him at 6:30 a.m. and I texted him. I was like, "Are you okay?" Because, or was that an accident? Because I know you weren't calling me just to chat at 6:30 a.m.
Let me ask you, because I wrote about this in my book. What about the sexual harassment across your career? Did you have it a lot?
Yeah, of course. And I'm joking when I say this, but not really. Like I worked in the service industry for so long. Like in college, I was a bartender. I kind of got used to it and almost would have been bummed out if people stopped hitting on me.
Yes.
You know what
people want to hit on you, but did you ever have it where, because I grew up in the 80s and I had jobs where if you didn't sleep with the boss, you were getting fired.
Oh, absolutely. I've encountered a few bosses like that in my life, both on land and on yachts. And I mean, I think we can all tell the difference between flirtatious.
But then there's the line crossing or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's case by case. I think that the things that probably both you and I, all three of us, have experienced are probably not as acceptable anymore. And that's for the best. But, I think we all know how to be like, oh, sorry, got to go do something. I guess, there's a whole spectrum and shades, like a hand on the back and sweetheart. Maybe sometimes that's like the gateway start. Like if you don't say no to that, maybe they think they can take the next level. So it's just really not, you can't just have a finite law about what is and what isn't, because it's so subjective.
It is. No, you're absolutely, you're absolutely right.
Can I just say, I think you guys are the cutest thing. The first time I heard y'all's podcast,
you're so sweet.
I messaged someone, maybe it was probably Caroline Blanchard, and I said, oh my God, I love them. They They sound like Frenchie and the girls from the movie Grease.
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
No, we do. No, I love to talk to people and get in a conversation about, just how they got started, what their dream was, what's happening, because it is inspirational to people. So many women, especially, get stuck, don't feel confident, want to do something great, and can't achieve it because they're held back, or they have some shame about something, or they don't feel confident. And it's so important that they don't feel that way.
Like, you can relate to every guest. There's something in everyone's story that each person can say, oh my God, that feels like me. That's a moment. And it's so nice to hear the feedback from people that listen to the podcast.
Right. And I think it's really nice when you can use your own experiences that maybe weren't so great at the time. It's kind of like recycling them to make it into something new and better. If at least those experiences, you can help somebody else be like, listen, this is what the lesson I learned from it. In school, they teach you a lesson and they give you a test, but in life, you are tested and then you usually learn the lesson. For example, it was probably 2011, I'm guessing, aroundish, and I met this guy named Fabio, and I'm telling you, he was gorgeous. So gorgeous that I dated a guy named Fabio. Can you believe that? I'm dating Fabio, and he says, Kate, he was from Key West, should have been my first red flag. And he's like, come to Key West with me, move to Key West. And so, you know what I did? I said, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to sublease my apartment. I'm going to throw my dog in the Jeep, and I'm going to sail off into the sunset with Fabio. 6 weeks later, I realized I hate living in Key West. I don't like Fabio. And I was now back in my hometown, unemployed. Now I had to go to my parents' house because I'd subleased my apartment, thinking, what the hell did I do wrong? How did I end up here? And, that was the reason I said, well, I guess I'll get back into yachting. And I think less than a year later, I was starting on Below Deck. So what I've really learned is that sometimes when you're like, how did this happen? Why am I here? It's really just positioning you for something better. And I used to think that was something people said who just made a lot of mistakes.
No, but you're right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things happen for a reason. They really do.
There's things that have happened. We've been bummed out, deals that have fallen through. And then we had a big deal that almost went through before the pandemic.
And then the pandemic happened, that would have fucked it over too.
And it wouldn't have sold anyway, and it would have been a shit show. So it was kind of like we were saved by the bell.
I was depressed for 2 days, then I was okay.
Yeah, it was rough at the time. But
I lost a QVC deal, and I really think it was very simultaneous when the ponytail pull aired. Everything was guns a-blazing, fit samples, this, that. Then all of a sudden they were like, yeah, people don't like her. It's not rating well. All of a sudden, my character wasn't liked. I was like, what?
That is wild. And that's another thing from doing reality. It teaches you so many other lessons. I mean, that you don't even want.
Yes.
When other cast members will be coming on doing their first season, Below Deck has spin-off franchises. So I like to give advice to anybody who asks. And they'll have a bad episode and they will be freaking out. And it does feel like your life is imploding. This is a big issue. You think every single person on the planet, you think you go to the grocery store, the bagger knows, the stock boy knows.
Exactly.
You think that, CNN, it's like on the ticker bar, like Kate Chastain is an asshole. But the truth is, 2 weeks later, no one remembers. I see they do marathons of old seasons of Below Deck all the time. And if I happen to see it or somebody tweets me about it, half the time I'm like, I don't remember living that, let alone it airing. It seems so important and drastic and dramatic in the moment, but then literally 2 months from now, you don't even remember it.
I know. That's what it is. It's like everybody's on to the new drama.
Yeah. And there's no shortage of drama these days, so.
There isn't. I mean, we have tons of drama across every franchise. We always say we're entrepreneur real. So anybody who's looking to get into any of the businesses you've done, TV, yachting, cheap stew, anything, what is the most real advice you could give to anybody to chase their dream?
Fake it till you make it. And if you fail, keep trying. You'll know when you fail if you need to now redirect your course or give it another shot. Sometimes a very valuable thing is to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Quitting something is not always a negative. Sometimes you have to do things and figure out what's not for you so that you can chisel away to what is for you.
I agree. That's
Very
good.
true.
Very good.
I'm Super Soul Sunday over here.
Yes.
Love that question.
So we always say the March is about 50% delusion and 50% determination. That's been like the secret sauce to her success. What are your percentages?
I love that 50% delusion.
Yeah, 50% delusion. Yeah, I said if I don't believe my own hype, who will?
It's so true. It's like optimism. You got to take that leap. And
Yes.
you know, I'm not sure I would go skydiving unless I was feeling exceptionally ballsy and delusional that day. Like, you know,
Yes.
I love that. So my percentages, I would say I'm 40% hard work, 60% desire.
Well,
Okay, good. I like that.
I do hard work because I have desires for things.
Yes. Hard work and desire. I like it.
It sounds so sexy.
Very
too.
sexy. Yes. Very good.
Oh,
Very sexy.
Okay. What is your big girl panty moment in your life that you were like, shit, I got to put up my big girl panty moments. I don't know if I could do this, but I have no choice. It's a sink or swim moment. Big girl panties.
On my first season of Below Deck, I made a big dick on a bed for a charter guest. It was like my first.
Oh, I remember that.
It was like my first week on TV, and my mom told me before I went, she's like, Kate, just promise me you won't curse, and you'll never have more than 2 glasses of wine. And here I am a week later making big old penises on beds. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get fired on national television for making my poor mother. And so that was kind of the moment, like, you have to figure this out. But also, I was really proud that I did it. I just was pissed off. He was rude to me.
It was
so the right move.
It was so good. Well, this interview was so good. You were interviewing us. We were interviewing you. I was like chatting with one of my greatest girls in the world.
Yeah, I love you ladies. Let me know when Soiree hits.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Bye.
It was so great to talk to Kate Chastain. She's such a strong woman, and she's such a girl's girl.
She is such a girl's girl. I just love her. Everything about her is so impressive. She wanted to do something. She made it happen. She was on Below Deck. She created chat room. I'm sure she's going to create many more shows.
Oh, she definitely is. And one of the things I would love about Kate, the first time I ever met her was in a comedy club, and she said to me, "Hi, I'm Kate." And I love that when people just like, so people that are so familiar in our lives, you're like this too. You're like, "Hi, I'm Margaret." You know, people don't come in with airs and graces like, "Here I am. You should know me." She's just a real good person. And
exactly.
It shows.
It does show, and she's fun to be around. She's the life of the party. She has a lot of insight to give, and I think she's very inspirational to young women. Chase your dreams. Don't be afraid of them, and you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them.
Yes. Keep dreaming. You can find us every Wednesday at Caviar Dreams Fish Budget. Anyway, you find your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, they're everywhere now. And you can find us on YouTube and Instagram, same name, at The Life of Mrs. B and The Real Margaret Josephs. Keep dreaming.
Keep dreaming, Caviar Dreamers.